Hello, Fusion 56. Good to see you. This series is going to be all about doing something when you see injustice all around you. When you see lies about friends, when you see bullying happen, racism, whatever the injustice might be in your world, we have to be aware of it, and then we have to do something and get involved to stop it.
Hello, I'm Batman. I know what you're thinking. This new mask is really awesome, I know. It's extra durable, but that's not the point right now. I just wanted to talk to you kids about justice. Justice is basically, staring off of a building into the night sky with your fist clenched. No, that's not right. I was just joking about that. I was joking. Joking. But I'm not the Joker. Justice is when you're talking to the commissioner. And you're like, Commissioner, there's trouble. And he says, I know, Batman. What should we do about it? Batman? Batman? Boom. Pow, boom, pop up. You're gone, baby. That's justice.
When is a time when you have seen injustice around you and not done anything? So pause the video and talk. Maybe it's a time when a teacher got you in trouble and it wasn't your fault. Or maybe it's something a little bigger of a friend being excluded because of the color of their skin or because of some other reason. When is the time that you've seen injustice in your world? Pause the video and talk about that a bit. You know, one time I saw injustice was when my family was in a restaurant and there was a table right next to us, just like 2 or 3 feet away. And we're sitting and eating, and it looks like it's a father and a daughter maybe. And the father, he just kept raising his voice and kept just demeaning this girl. And she looked so sad and so emotionally beaten down. My heart was killing me, but I didn't know what to do. They're at a different table. We're at our table. And so I'm sorry to say that I did nothing. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in the right mindset. So I just we ate our meal and pretend like we didn't hear anything when this father is practically screaming at his daughter next to us. That haunts me to this day. I wish I would have done something. Ask the man, are you okay? Do you need to talk? What's going on? Something. So it's very important that we are aware of what's going on around us. So when injustice happens, we're ready to step in and say, hey, that's not okay, and to try to help. So next I want to talk about a very controversial question. It's not easy to talk about. Which superhero is better, Batman or Spider-Man? And there is a right answer to this question. So pause the video and talk about this. I hope you came to the right answer that Spider-Man is the best. But even if you didn't, we can still move past that. But another question is, why are we so interested in superhero movies? There's a new superhero movie every few months, it seems, and they always do great. People love to watch them. What is it about the superhero? The cape and the superpower. We are into these superhero movies, and there is something about the movies that do say something about injustice and a need for justice that we have inside of us. When we see Batman so cunning and smart and figure everything out, and then getting to the bad guy just in time and throwing him in jail, and justice happening, I love that. I think a lot of us love that. Or we see Spider-Man swinging and catching the person just in time before they hit the ground and somehow saving everybody in such an impossible situation. We love that. We love seeing justice happen from a powerful heroic figure. And so I think deep down inside of us all, we want that justice to happen. Well, Jesus also calls us to do something about injustice around us. But it looks a little different than a cape and swooping in. Here's what Jesus says in Matthew 25. Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." They also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and not help you?" He will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Then they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous will enter eternal life. Wow. Man, that's heavy. That's so huge. Jesus is very black and white, right or wrong here. He says, those of you that helped the least of these, you helped me. You're coming with me to eternal life. Those who did not, I don't know you. You did not help me. And you're not coming to eternal life. How huge is that? That is so huge that we have to have this on our minds constantly. We have to be looking for the oppressed around us. Where have you seen someone in need and not helped? When were you next to someone at a restaurant and saw oppression and you didn't help? When did you see bullying happen on the playground, or people excluding other people, or telling lies about other people, or someone getting in trouble and it was really your fault? Did you step up to the plate and help those around you? Jesus calls us to this. He calls us to help people around us. And when we do that, we're actually helping Jesus. Now, something that gets in my way sometimes is that these people don't always act like Jesus. When I help them, Jesus would say thank you, and he would be loving and have a kind voice and be gracious. These people are not always that way. Sometimes when you help somebody, there's no thank you. There's no kindness coming from them. But when we are helping those around us, people that God cares about, people that Jesus died for, when we're helping them, we got to remember we're helping Jesus. We're loving Jesus. We're feeding him. We're visiting him. We're loving him. So what comes to your mind when you hear injustice? There are big injustices, racism, which we already talked about a bit, someone being excluded or persecuted or hated because of the color of their skin, or bullying, a bigger kid on a playground picking on a younger kid, or maybe a more popular person picking on someone who's less popular. Happens in school, and it happens once you get out of school. Bullying is something that happens in our everyday life that we can step up and say that's not okay. And oppression, a worldwide view of this. Kids in sweatshops working to the bone. People being oppressed, people being enslaved, which still happens in our world. If you have dealt with a big oppression, racism, bullying, hopefully not child labor, but if you have something that's going on in your life, I hope that you'll find a safe person, your mom or your dad, or someone to talk to about this, because this is big and heavy, and we got to help each other. It's good to talk about these things and work through them. They're not okay. But if you feel like you haven't yourself experienced one of these kind of big injustices, what is happening around you? What can you see in your world? Do you see people putting others down unfairly? Maybe someone's angry about something that happened earlier that day and they take it out on a friend. Are you the one who's stepping up and helping them and saying that's not okay? Are you the one sitting and talking with the needy, those that are not sitting with someone else at lunch, someone who need friendship and help? Are you the one doing this? That's what Jesus calls us to. He calls us not only to notice it, but to get our hands dirty and to really help. So I challenge you this week to look for injustices around you. And remember, that's Jesus there, being lied about, being hurt, being bullied. And I want you to step up and help and be motivated to do something. All right, next week we'll get in a little deeper into this subject of injustice and how we're going to do something about it. Thank you so much, Fusion. We'll see you next week.